I'm Kamali, taking you through some of the things people are talking about and some of the stuff they're sharing around the world on Newsfeed today. People in India celebrate the police killing of 4 men accused of rape. Is this justice? Indian social media discusses.
Find ourselves in the bush. They now push us, kick us leg. I refuse to go that bush because I'm afraid. I don't know people I'm going with.
Why were these 2 Nigerian men deported from Croatia to Bosnia? We'll tell you. 6 months of Hong Kong's protests. We look at what may come next.
It's 2019 and I just graduated. And I can't wait to show my mother.
I finished my master's.
And contacting Kashmir, we hear what people would say to those back home if they could. Well, at the top of our newsfeed, Hyderabad police. They've killed 4 men accused of rape, and the internet in India is divided over how they feel about that and what kind of justice that may be. Here's Radhika.
There are polarized reactions over the encounter killings in Hyderabad in the state of Telangana on Thursday morning. Many Indians believe that justice has been served, but there are many others who are also questioning how 4 people who were in custody and unarmed were shot dead. Cops say that the accused tried to escape, which is why they had to be fired at. Now there are people who've been bursting crackers and raising slogans praising the Telangana police. Some big names from the Indian film industry too feel that justice has been served. For example, actor Rishi Kapoor tweeted, "Bravo Telangana police, my congratulations." A big actor in the southern movies, Nikhil Siddhartha, wrote, "Human rights are for humans, not for pervert animals. Laws are made by us, the people, and have been executed by the police department." The celebration of what's been termed quick justice comes in the context of rape case trials taking years and years to conclude in India. Many times, survivors and their families are threatened to take back the case. In fact, just on Thursday, a rape survivor who was on her way to a court hearing in her case was attacked and set on fire in the state of Uttar Pradesh. Her attackers included the 2 men she filed the rape case against. Many feel that people in India have lost faith in the judicial system. According to data from the National Crime Records Bureau from 2016, India has a conviction rate of 25.5%. Perhaps this illustration puts in perspective why Hyderabad's encounter killings have triggered a sense of relief. But there are many Indians who are questioning this surprising turn of events. Actor Ranveer Shori wrote, "Perversion of the justice system cannot be the answer to dealing with perverts in society. Fixing the justice system is." In India, at least 90 cases of rape are reported every single day according to data. But anybody working in the field of women's safety will tell you that that's a grossly underreported figure. Chilling cases like the one in 2012 in Delhi and the one now in Telangana are not really rare. But what they do on social media is trigger a cycle of outrage, shock, anger, as well as forgetfulness. Perhaps in this case too, one journalist's tweet sums it up. He writes, "Today, we will witness a bloodthirsty India erupting in joy, celebrate on social media, and give our shoddy law enforcement system a big thumbs up. No lessons will be learnt, no improvements will be made, and we will move on till another bone-chilling crime happens." And outrage.
Well, as the fallout continues, some on social media in India are pointing the finger at Bollywood.
क्या किया तुमने? शर्म नहीं आती?
तुम्हारी कसम, मैंने अपने हाथ को रोकने की बड़ी कोशिश की, लेकिन ये माना ही नहीं।
Okay, let's take a look at some of the other things that caught our eye on social media.
Time in decades. And that would be a good thing. I'm in favour of having people of talent come to this country, but I think we should have it democratically controlled.
Well, this is the British Prime Minister Boris Johnson talking about immigration. Did he say people of colour or people of talent? His office says he says talent. That video has been taken down, but not before Twitter heard what it wanted to hear. Here's another version from a different broadcaster.
A good thing. I'm in favour of having people of talent come to this country, but I think we should have it democratically controlled.
Boycott Mulan is trending after a new trailer dropped for the live-action remake and after people resurfaced the fact that the actress who plays Mulan, Yi-Fei Liu, tweeted in support of the Hong Kong police. As you can see from these comments, some on social media don't think that's what a real Mulan would do. A list of the top 100 baby names in the United States sees Mohammed enter the top 10 for the first time ever. The prophet's name makes it along with Elijah, Noah, and at the top it's Liam. The top girl's name is Sophia, and Aaliyah makes the list too. This is all according to Baby Center. Well, now for the story of two young men detained in a freezing camp in Bosnia because they happened to be walking in Croatia's capital without their passports.
After competing in an international sports competition, the last place you expect to find yourself is a refugee camp. But that's what's happened to Abia Uchenna Alexandro and Ebo Kenneth Chinedu, two 18-year-old table tennis players. They competed at the 5th World Inter-Universities Championships in Pula, Croatia. After the tournament, they left for Zagreb. They planned to fly to Lagos on the 18th of November. However, the night before, two police officers stopped them as they took a walk in the city. They mistakenly took them as undocumented immigrants.
They took us to the police station, unknown police station, which I don't know the area. We tried to explain to them that we are not with our documents here, but we lodge at hostel in Zagreb Center. They didn't pay attention to us.
They were placed in a van and transferred to the border with Bosnia-Herzegovina with other migrants. They were then forced across the border at gunpoint.
Find ourselves in the bush. They now push us, kick us leg. I refuse to go that bush because I'm afraid. I don't know people I'm going with. I've never been that place before. So the other one also said, if we do move, I will shoot.
Croatia's Interior Ministry confirmed Uchenna and Chinedu entered the country legally, though they claim the pair attempted to overstay.
Police officers have already witnessed cases of individuals who make an attempt to or even abuse their participation in sports competitions in Croatia to remain in the country.
So why were they sent to a camp in Bosnia rather than being sent back to Nigeria? One person on Facebook says people should always carry their IDs with them, but others are more sympathetic.
Absolutely insane that they have been treated this way. Their only crime was being black in a backward European country.
So for now, the pair remain far from home, with no idea when they will get back.
Well, 6 months after those protests began in Hong Kong, Brit looks at where the situation may go. She begins by telling us how people felt after Carrie Lam made that decision to scrap that bill.
And as far as the protesters are concerned, Lam's move was too little, too late. You see, by the time Lam announced the withdrawal, more than 2 months of unrest had passed. The violence had intensified and anger over how police were handling the protests was quickly boiling over. So by scrapping the bill, Lam had met one of the 5 demands, but there were now another 4, including an independent inquiry into police brutality and universal suffrage. Let's take a closer look at that last one. The protesters say they are fighting for the democratic freedoms that are deserved to them under the city's mini constitution, the Basic Law. That's because the Basic Law says Hong Kong's leader should ultimately be selected by universal suffrage, which essentially means one person, one vote. Under the one country, two systems arrangement, Hong Kong's capitalist system and way of life is to stay the same until 2047. But the protesters say their freedoms have been gradually eroding as Beijing's influence grows.
There had never been such a deep awakening of Hong Kong people. The majority of us now sees that unless we stand up for our freedom, liberties, human rights, rule of law, and way of life, these will be taken away from us by the CCP.
On the other side of the argument, Hong Kong is Asia's top financial hub, and the unrest has sent the territory into a recession. Chinese state media are calling the protesters rioters and terrorists, while Beijing has stepped up its rhetoric.
任何人都不要低估中国人维护国家主权、维护香港繁荣稳定的决心和意志。
It's statements like that that are leading analysts to question whether we're now close to seeing a military intervention. Thousands of Chinese troops of the People's Liberation Army are permanently stationed in the territory. The basic law only allows for a military intervention if a state of emergency is declared or if Hong Kong's leaders request it. But maybe it won't come to that. Some analysts predict the growing disruption and violence will ultimately undermine support for the protest movement altogether. Whatever happens next, the crisis has exposed deep divisions in society between those who support and oppose the protest movement. And with both sides unwilling to compromise, the fear is they're heading on a collision course that could lead to large-scale bloodshed.
Okay, around the world now for some other stories you need to know this Friday. The World Health Organization say they and health experts all around the world have failed in their efforts to keep people safe from measles. 140,000 people died of the disease last year. 10 million people were infected. Measles is preventable, but social media has allowed a resurgence of anti-vaccination campaigns based on debunked junk science about their safety. And classic blue has been declared the Pantone colour of the year for 2019. They say in some great branding speak, classic blue encourages us to look beyond the obvious, to expand our thinking, challenge us to think more deeply, increase our perspective, and open the flow of communication. Yeah, whatever you say, mate. We're just glad you like the colour. Well, this week, Kashmiri has started disappearing from WhatsApp groups. Their accounts auto-deactivated because of India's rolling internet blackout. So our Faisal reached out to some people in the Kashmiri community around the world and asked them what they would say to their families back home.
Your son is going to be the first person from the family who is going to submit his PhD proposal that too in a foreign university. I just hope that you would have been there. I would have been able to, if only I would have been able to call you.
The year is 2019 and I just graduated. And I can't wait to show my mother this coat, this book, and this stethoscope that'll go around my neck in the hospital. But because of the internet ban, I won't be able to show her anything, and I really miss her face. It has been now 4 months that I haven't seen her.
This was my first Eid away from home, so I really hope that I could at least video call my family and attend Eid in a virtual manner, but unfortunately I couldn't even call them. But that's how Eids have been for Kashmiris in the past so many years. They've been full of bloodshed, full of tyranny, full of oppression, and this year was no exception to it.
Unfortunately, due to an imposed digital and communication lockdown in Kashmir, I, like thousands of others non-resident Kashmiris, have been cut off from our family and our loved ones. It's the simple things, being able to see your mother in times when that's the only thing that's going to give you some kind of solace.
Just because this video could reach you, so I got a haircut for you today, otherwise my hair were very unacceptably long for you, I know. So your son is going to be submitting a research proposal, and I just hope that you pray for me, and I just hope that this blockade ends soon so that I get to see you.
Well, that will do you from the Newsfeed team. Do reach out to me with your questions, comments, complaints and suggestions. You'll find me, as always, at Kamali Melbourne. You'll find us 24/7 on YouTube. You can subscribe to our channel, and why not follow me on Twitter? Follow, subscribe and add. See you again soon.